What's happening, my beautiful people? My name is Mike LaBelle. Welcome back to the Playbook. If you're brand spanking new, it is free to subscribe. And today we are teaching a way to disrupt the offense. Whether it's for the good or it's for the bad, it's something that has definitely made headway. It's overpowered. And one player, he's on full display for the world to see. If you have questions, make sure to get in the comment section. We're looking at PH Zin here, multi-world champion, including this year with FC Pro. You see some of the build-up. We're going to talk about the isolation of the likes of no other than Mr. Erling Holland. If you see this man anywhere near the box, especially with the upgrades, whether you have the Team of the Year edition, you've got the 94 overall. I don't think it's a Centurions. It might have been called a Dynasty. Even if you have potentially the regular gold Holland, he's still going to be a force in the air. He's going to win everything. You may have seen this clip, potentially multiple clips that we're going to have on full display. So you've got the likes of Mbappe, but most importantly, you've got space to work with and you can split these defenders. The whole idea is to receive some level of isolation. It makes it easier for you, whether it's for a direct takedown, whether it's for a knock-on, or if you want to go with the traditional, the ordinary finish, maybe even something acrobatic. Mbappe to Holland, and that's going to be a lobbed cross where you're holding L2. Anything to the back post that's got a lot of that extra emphasis, lob that thing up. So now that you've made this connection, and again, the big key is that you split the defenders. I want to keep that as a reoccurring theme. Defender 1, defender 2, you want to split them. The same can be said about through balls. When you're aiming for those through balls, you're trying to split center backs or split a fullback with a center back. You want to split the defense. You've done that. Now you've got a couple different variants. You could take this down with Holland and try to chest it and go for glory. Depending on the player, sometimes that works better, a little bit smoother. There's some risk involved, but what we've been seeing is a lot of knockdowns. You're targeting potential players that could step into space in one way or the other. It's one of these two attackers, whether you're going backwards or you're going a little more clean side to side. Holland, there's your knockdown, easy touch, and you can't miss from here. You pick a side, the goalkeeper really doesn't have enough time to be moved one way or the other. It's very reactive, even going up against the likes of Anders Vergang, who's unstoppable. There's your goal every day of the week. Welcome to the assist. This goal won PH Zin $80,000. And again, you're going to see the setup. You've got the likes of Mbappe out wide. Where's Holland? He's hugging that back post. And it's worth considering, and we've seen this a lot in competitive play recently. We've been commentating on EMLS events. You want to target these big players going up against fullbacks. They just don't match up well. No matter what, this is not going to be a good matchup for a natural fullback. So what we've been seeing, at least at the competitive level, and I'm speaking EMLS, which has its own restrictions and limitations when it comes to drafts, we're seeing Courtois used as a fullback, something I never thought I would be discussing. I've seen the likes of Laudrup in action, who's still not going to win this matchup. Even Virgil van Dijk, if you can get him out there, you need someone that has the physical nature. And I call this the assist because that big lob again, L2 on the triggers. You're going to win this matchup. This one's a little more clear. You can't go directly for goal. I understand if you'd like to, but this is never realistically an option to beat goalkeepers consistently, at least not how the game's currently built. So what you've got to do is pinpoint potential targets for your knockdown. And the reason it's become so popular, AI defending, it's through the roof right now. That is undeniable. How do you counteract it? How do you beat those AI defenders? They're everywhere. By somewhat putting it into the mixer, because we know it's going to be heading this way, all you need is one quick touch from one of these attacking players. You get that little quick touch around a defender or even into space, you're already in that bread and butter zone to finish a 1v1. Holland, he climbs, there's that touch. Pateas, you see the goalkeeper already starting to scoot. We've talked about this in a short that we put out that did numbers, but he's already coming this way, and you're just going to play the way you're facing, or in this case, convert the way that you're facing, shoot the way that you're facing. Pateas touches it home, $80,000 in the bag. I love a different camera view, so we'll show you a little bit more. There you go with Holland. Not a lot that's going to be too different here. These are still the same target players, and if anything, you can see that's the triangle of good fortune. There's no denying it. If you want to get some gold rings, you're playing Sonic the Hedgehog, it's going to come from in there. And this is just never even a matchup. Say what you will, but even in this little replay where the players are shrunk down, it looks like Holland has 7-8 inches before coming into the physical elements and the ability to jump and climb and just that stature in particular. It's a way to beat Park the Bus, gotta be said. Knockdown, space, Pateas, goalkeeper movement, did his best. We're calling this inside work. Maybe it's an inside job. We've got Levy going up against Vergang. Even though Vergang wins the matchup, I want to talk about Levy's goal. A little bit of a different circumstance and a different setup. We're still talking about crossing here. And in this case, we've got 3 different attacking options, all in a somewhat dangerous dangerous area. And really the question is relatively simple. When I look at this play, I say the space is going to be somewhere here. You've got players chasing back, but they're really not in the proper positions. If you're looking at Vergang from the midfield perspective, these guys aren't going to be able to impact those 3 attackers if you move quickly. And this is always going to be the space. So it's just a matter of who's going to take that space and what's the most clever or deceptive way to get it there while still being efficient. So what we're going to see from Levy, and we've made a full tutorial on this, is the ball roll right there. Oh, love a ball roll. It changes the angle, and it also kind of deciphers, well, who's actually leading this attack. And it's clear that R9 is now going to be your target man. He's going into that gap. We always talk about these gaps, splitting defenders. And what he's done here is a ball roll, and then he's just going to tap. Just a little love touch on the crossing commands. You don't have to do more. You don't have to do anything overly ambitious when it comes to aiming. It's not this lobbed option. And you're going to see it's a little bit different. It's almost like a small little chip. You could probably get away with a chip through ball. I prefer in these types of circumstances to go with the crossing command. Just my personal preference, but I'm just throwing it out there. We're going for R9, and what you love to see here, first time, little extra touch, and then Holland in that zone again. It's all about those extra passes. You can watch it back in slow-mo. He might even, the more I watch this clip, Levy might have even gone with potentially a chip through ball. L2, even if you're doing it with a very much so a love touch, barely pushing it, it usually gives you a little bit too much of a lob in this circumstance. I don't want to take it all the way off the pitcher because he's definitely got a little bit of airtime there, but what's important is instead of R9 trying to challenge this matchup zone, because he'd still have to beat 3 defenders, most likely. You'd have work to do, whereas Holland's kind of got a clear path. If you really look at this, that's a better opportunity, a better chance. You knock it down, there you are, you turn, you still got work to do. Still got players to get past, but Holland opens up his body, goalkeeper movement again, not done well, and buries it the way that he's facing, buries it on the near post. If anything, this is more about the penetration of that pass, the little key attribute of that pass and what it can do for you. And last but not least, and maybe we just talk about this being Holland, but I wanted to bring it up, is even if you don't make contact, you don't get the knockdown, you don't go directly for goal, and in this circumstance, when you're seeing this, you could score this direct. You wouldn't necessarily have to make that extra pass. You could go direct, but what I've noticed, and the reason it's become so disruptive offensively, and there's definitely an element of RNG and luck, you name it, it's part of the game. I'm not here to deny that or take it off the table, but even if Holland doesn't win this opportunity, the ball can bounce somewhere in the middle of the pitch. So let's say no one wins this header clear. That doesn't mean there's not space for players to kind of step into and get a follow-up, get a rebound, be able to work with some sort of bounce that's favorable. And again, if anything, this got to be credit to Holland. He is a man-child on the virtual pitch. Goes up, and you see in the circumstance, you had Emery Yilmaz switching players with some of that player lock action, hoping to play against the pass down. Doesn't happen. It bounces to the likes of Pateas. So now his player switching is a little bit off. Even better. Look at the ball roll. You can already see what's going to happen here. He's shimmying, he's shaking, and he's setting up a split. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be glorious. The point that I'm making is still the overpowered nature of matchups, understanding them, utilizing them, taking advantage, meta, what's working, and a way to beat the AI. And that's that lobbed L2, put the cross into motion, let your tallest, most athletic player go get it. If not, still scoring goals. One more time. Starts with Mbappe, which has been a theme. Take advantage of the pace. The back post in this circumstance, we already know that this is going to be open. As long as you can get Holland into place, this should be open. It's there for the taking. You've got a good matchup. Lets it rip. It's that lob. Goalkeeper's kind of caught a no-man's zone. Doesn't make contact. It reminds you from playing football early on. I played as an old school striker. As you see, Alexia, yeah, I would take that. I was an old school number 9. Often, maybe a goal kick or the ball's being fed to me. Even if I didn't win it clear to knock it down or to take it down, a lot of times I would offset or put off the center back behind me or maybe a holding midfielder, someone that was challenging. And then it allowed my teammates to make runs based on the fact that they knew the ball wasn't heading back this way. It was going to go somewhere even, or it was going to go in behind. Either way, you could play off of me. And that reminds me of Holland present day in FC 24. If you're struggling against AI defending, which we all are, this is a way to at least take advantage of some of those oppositions that have been heavily frustrating time in and time out. Again, let me know if you have any questions. If you found it helpful, make sure to subscribe, and I have a lot more content coming out ASAP.